Welcome to the Antlered Crown, where we will discuss beer, witchcraft, spirituality, and more.
We hope through conversation we can continue the trend of the collective awakening or just have fun and shit.
Today, we will be talking about a beer known as Foggy Geyser, Hazy Indian Pale Ale by Three Floyds.
Then we will be sharing our own experiences with spiritual growth, how we achieved where we are, and what helped us evolve.
So come on in.
Beyond the weather and the marsh, there is a whisper in the dark through the tides of disarray, where we list and notice the way. If you listen very still, there are answers to the endless, where the ancient pulses deep of the memories you keep.
Welcome to the Antlered Crown podcast. I'm Elwyn, and I'm a fourth generation hedge witch.
How are you now?
Apparently so.
Oh, that's nice. Gosh. And I'm Amanda, the mom reader, and I am here for comedic relief.
What? Comedic relief.
Sure, we'll go with that
For
one.
commodities.
For commodities. Commodities.
She brought the
and
beer.
communities. I don't know what I'm here for.
It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. You're here for many things because you're beyond value.
Oh, bless.
You're
That's
welcome.
so nice.
Oh. Now, you talk about the beer. You there?
Me?
Yes, you.
You're talking about the beer.
No, apparently on the thing it says you're going to talk about
No.
the beer. Well,
No.
all right then. It's Three Floyds and McKellar collaboration called War Pigs Foggy Geyser.
So War Pigs is actually like a place where they brew it. And McKellar is in Copenhagen in Denmark. And Three Floyds is actually in Indiana, just over the border. Just a skip and a jump.
Oh, just down the road a bit.
A wheeled skip and a jump down the street.
Yeah.
From old Illinois.
Yeah, there we go.
So, shall we? Let's crack on.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
it.
give her a shot.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Here, why don't you pour mine too, and I'll describe the bottle. So, on the can, it's a black can. It's really cool. Even the top's black. And on the actual can, I don't know what this guy is. I think he's an old warlord, yeah. But I think it almost feels... I don't know.
Say it.
It looks Asian.
It's Mongol.
Mongolian?
Yes, it's Mongolian.
Wow.
It's supposed to be a Mongolian warlord.
And he's all decaying and super gross looking. It's pretty sick.
Have you ever seen Conan the Barbarian? And you see, when he finds his sword, looks like that.
The one with, God, I wanted to say Adam Sandler, and it's definitely. Could you put up Adam Sandler as the barbarian?
Oh my god! What is best in life? Nah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
The original Conan.
The A I was looking for.
Not the crappy new version that they made.
Yeah, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. He doesn't look like that, though, so I don't know why we're talking about that.
He doesn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He looks like the king who in the dead king in its chair. Forget it. It's fine. It's fine.
Moving swiftly along.
Moving onwards.
So the flavor in this is hazy. So it's a hazy IPA, so it's loaded with juicy tropical hop fruitness. Yet it still packs enough hop bitterness to keep things balanced. It delivers guava, pine, and passion fruit on both the nose and the palate, with a touch of peppery spice to finish. Did you like that?
Kind of, but it's not true.
What do you think it tastes like?
Musty.
Musty. Sponsor us.
No,
Musty.
don't. No, it's nice. It is nice. It's very drinkable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's musty. It's got this. Does it say what hops are in? Tropical hop fruitness. It's almost like armadillo hops or something like that. I don't think it says. But there is this certain mustiness. And also...
Like a skunky?
Yeah, a little bit skunky. But
maybe it's just sat too
That's
long.
from the dry hops. No,
Maybe
that's
it's
just
too
the second edition of hops to give it that sort of zesty, skunky,
Oh my.
which everyone wants nowadays. No, and the other thing that annoys me is, although, to be fair, it says it's a hazy Indian pale ale. I would say that's opaque. I'm kind of used to... You remember when I made
what?
my beer?
Yeah.
And it was like milkshake.
Yeah.
It was like milkshake.
Yeah.
I understand what you were doing then.
Took you a sec.
Yeah, and so ever since then, like everything that claims to be hazy, I suppose it is hazy, but it's just... It's not that
I think
hazy.
people confuse hazy with juicy nowadays.
That's true.
This is juicy.
Yeah.
This is hazy.
Yeah, that's true. And there is a difference.
There's definitely a difference.
That's a big difference.
So the ABV is 6.8%. So it's a lighter one. It's not gonna get you wasted.
It depends. I mean, in England, strong is 4%, but we drink more of it. So session beer.
Yeah, he likes to think.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me how beer is related to witchcraft? I heard that.
Did you hear that?
I hope they hear
It
it.
was my gullet. It was my gullet went, don't do it. Okay. No, but yeah, it is. We talked about this quite recently.
Yeah.
And
They have pointy hats because they want to sell their beer in the marketplace.
a long time ago, she's not wrong, a long time ago, women weren't allowed certain jobs, so they were at home a lot, and they would spend the day brewing beer and then selling it, and they would sell it out in the marketplaces and on the busy streets. They would wear tall pointy hats so they can be seen in a crowd, so people can then like work their way to them to buy beer.
Right.
Also, there is the object of the cauldron. It's obviously a big thing because a big kettle stirring it, but also broomsticks. Broomsticks were used outside the residence of women who would brew beer. The bristles pointing upwards meant that the beer was ready.
Right.
The bristles pointing downwards, lent against the outside, meant that they're still brewing.
Oh.
Yeah. And also the cats. You know, wherever you keep a lot of grain, you're going to get rats. So they would keep cats close by, like most people did. You don't like rats.
I don't like rats.
I like rats. They're incredibly intelligent.
I don't have anything against them. I don't want them near me. They can live their own lives wherever they want.
That's kind of having something against them, though. If you said that about a person, that would be pretty bad.
I've said that about a few people.
I guess. Good point.
I think everyone can.
Yeah, that's true.
Excuse me? Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
6.
Ooh, 6.
Yeah.
Darn.
Like, what would you call 1, though? Let's get... Wait a minute. Let's get...
Okay. Oh, worst beer. Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn. Go.
Let's get number 1 as
Number
the
1.
worst beer, which I'm going to say is, I don't know, Coors or Budweiser.
Ooh, natural ice.
Whatever that is, it sounds
Yeah.
worse than that.
You can still get natural ice at Walgreens.
So just stomach
It's
water.
like $2.99.
Okay. That's 1. What would be 10?
For international listeners, Walgreens is Boots. Just in case. Cater to everyone.
Where would that come from? Where? Never mind. International.
Okay,
listeners.
so 1 is Coors Light.
Yeah, and what would 10
I
be?
don't know, but you know what? Coors Light has really cool cans. Have you seen their cans? The mountains turn blue when it's optimal temperature for drinking.
They've put so much thought into their cans. If they put that amount of thought into their beer, I'm just saying.
Pew pew pew.
People
pew,
like
pew,
people like
pew.
Coors. I don't like Coors. It doesn't taste of anything. It's fizzy. It just fills your stomach with water.
Okay, so Coors, and then I feel like the next step up would be like Miller Lite.
Okay, we're not going from 1 to 2. And
I
then,
know, I'm just saying the Miller Lite, and then like I don't know.
I know. I think it's pretty much the same for me.
Lagunitas. Was that like a 5?
Lagunitas.
I know you don't.
No, that's not a 5. Lagunitas would be a 3.
Oof.
I don't like it.
I know you don't.
You know why I don't like it? Because you can taste that they use rice husk in it. I don't like any beer that's made with rice, even lagers, unless it's specifically a lager that's.
What's
meant
that
to be
rabbit one called that you like in England?
Moon Geyser.
Moon Geyser.
It's like a red ale.
You got a little smuts there, love.
Yeah, I noticed. I can feel it. It's like a Michael Jackson.
God rest his soul.
Anyways,
moving swiftly along. We're talking about spirit today.
We are.
We're going to go general. We're going to start general.
Yeah, very general. Because this is like an introductory thing. Yeah.
Just going to leave it there, huh?
It's not bad. Yeah, 6. Sorry.
So the first question, I'm gonna hit you with it.
Go for it.
What's that?
What's that?
So we might need like an intro into the
An intro
into the questions. Well, you come up with a beatbox
like
on the spot.
Someone shooting from very far away.
Whatever.
Okay. Go on then.
So I thought we could talk about what spirit means to you.
What does spirit mean to me?
What does
It's a
spirit
really
mean to
big
you?
question for the first one.
I mean, nobody said I wasn't bold.
I'm bold.
Such a bad joke.
What?
I can hear everyone just sighing.
Yeah, I know. What does spirit mean to me?
Yeah,
Okay.
hit me.
You and so much more are spirit. It permeates through everything. Yeah. It permeates through everything. Now,
Like mold.
no. Not like... Why? Mold doesn't permeate. It grows on top of things.
It gets in everything. If you let it get out, black mold will get in all of the bits.
I suggest you see a doctor.
Oh, careful.
Sorry. I let out a gust of air through my nose.
Okay, continue.
No.
Yeah.
It's not like mold. It's more like we've been through this
Gas.
before. No. Gas. We've been through this before. Where the idea that you are the universe, okay? The universe was created out of consciousness. Okay? The moment it was created out of consciousness, it expands just like consciousness does. It then tries to find its own meaning.
Yeah. As all things do.
We are the product of the universe trying to find its own meaning, along with all forms of life. We are simply just electrical impulse.
You went back to the... You all right there?
Yeah, I just got tongue-tied.
You went back to like Big Bang Theory though, right there.
Well, you have to take the concept of time out of it, really, in a way. Yeah. The concept of time is very different to spirit. Okay? That's one thing to... And so, consciousness. We are electrical impulses being sent through the universe to experience itself, to gain knowledge and understanding of its own existence.
Right.
To broaden its consciousness. Now, you are also part of the universe, so therefore you are on your own personal journey to broaden your own personal consciousness. And that is your spiritual journey, your higher self, if you like. It's really weird to be drinking and talking about this stuff, but it kind of works.
So?
What does spirit mean to you, then?
I think spirit means to me, I'm much more basic.
It's alright. It's personal.
Oop, sorry, I didn't mean to smack the microphone. My bad. I get just very handsy when I'm speaking. I think spirit means to me, like, when you connect to your higher self. I think it's just that basic. Yeah. So it's the same answer as yours, but when you're meditating, when, like for me, when I do yoga, when I go for a walk, I'm trying to reach that inner place of peace, that kind of in the zone place. It's like the movie Soul.
Your nirvana.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Have you guys seen the movie Soul? It's a really good film.
It is a fantastic movie.
It's good. Actually. They got most of the things right, to be fair.
They've got a lot of that right. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously there's comic effect and
right.
artistic licensing, but...
oh my gosh, Terry was so funny.
I don't remember the Terry.
Terry was like the rude lady who's like does the counting.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh, yeah, that one. It was a good film.
It was. I lost.
Did you hear this? People are like up in arms about that at the moment.
Up in arms? Why?
I saw a thing about it. Don't quote me on it, but I saw a thing about it, or I overheard something about the movie Soul, and people didn't like the way it was portrayed.
Why?
I think they think that the afterlife is basically like fluffy clouds and lots of roses and gardens, and it can
cherubs.
It can
naked
be that
babies all over the place.
But it's much more. It's your perception manifest. It's what you want in a sense. Right. But it's endless.
So in that sense, they got it right.
In that sense, they got it right. But at the same time, you have to remember that we only see a fraction of the spectrum of light and color of our world here. I mean, in spirit, there are colors that don't exist here. You cannot describe them. The same with sounds and senses and tastes and smells. So, yeah, I think they did a pretty good job of portraying that.
I think they did too.
Yeah.
And it was funny.
It was. It was really good, and it was kind of heartwarming as well.
It was. I think her number was 22. The soul that doesn't want to go to Earth. I think her number was 22.
Yeah, because she was like really old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I relate to spirit.
Yeah.
Spirit to me also can mean spirits, which I guess is ghosty people.
Mm-hmm. Someone just walked past me then.
Oh, what was it?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I don't know.
Well, look.
Well, it feels like a band.
Ooh.
What was that?
Touch me.
Calm down.
Feel me. Ooh, baby.
No, it feels like a band. Immediately, my wife's reaction is, ooh.
Oh, hello, sir.
You know what? I've changed my mind. It's a woman and she's gorgeous.
Got a body like a battle axe.
Why is that a good thing?
I don't know. People like battle axes.
I know,
it's from a song.
But
she's a killer queen. Isn't it Killer Queen?
Yeah, but they didn't say body like a battle axe.
Someone tell me in the comments where that's from. It's from a song. I don't know what song it is.
The thing is, I remember, I mean, it's different now, I suppose. If you call someone a battle axe, you can also mean like the form of guitar, I suppose. But a battle axe is like
pretty pointy.
A haggard woman. Life had not been kind to this woman. She is a battle axe.
If you were any weapon, what weapon would you be?
Oh, come on, that's obvious.
What?
You don't know?
A hatchet?
A hatchet? A hatchet?
I'd be poison. I'd seep in and kill you slowly. You're like, everything's fine, this is fine. And then you're dead.
Marriage.
Got him.
I'm joking. What kind
I
of
take it
weapon
as a compliment.
I'd probably be a spear. Because I've got long arms.
You are. People may not know this, but you're quite tall.
I'm not that tall.
It's a compliment.
I don't like people knowing that I'm tall.
Why?
Because all my life, growing up especially, like, I'm not technically tall now as much as when I was a kid I was very tall.
Yeah.
And all my life it was like, gosh, you're tall. Whoa, what are they feeding you? Yeah. And
like the pig effect.
thanks. And
naughty.
and it's nice for people not to know these things.
Oh, all right.
No.
I won't tell. He's not tall.
I'm not.
He's
I'm
quite
incredibly
average.
short.
Okay, he's very short.
I'm incredibly short. I'm
I've
like a
changed.
hobbit.
So tiny. I'm the big one.
We're both. I'm the big one, and it's on the screen here, and I'm like a good foot ahead. No, it's okay to tell people. All I meant is that I don't know. When you're tall, people immediately feel intimidated. I think
so.
Like, not everyone. I'm not saying in general, but sometimes people are intimidated, and that usually it's the people who will mention it all of a sudden. They're like, oh, you know.
Well, I just don't want you to ever meet somebody in person that like follows you on TikTok or on
honestly
YouTube, and you're like, and you're huge, and they're like, what?
I honestly
I'm so
thought that was
short.
going to stop. I don't ever want you to meet someone in person. And then just stop there. Like,
Period. No,
that's my witch. Get your own witch.
your own witch. It's so funny because people have been bringing that up to me like a lot lately.
Well,
About like, oh, you're so lucky. Like, you have a husband with such a wealth of knowledge about things. And I'm like, but if I listen to anything he says, he's right. And you could never be
that's recorded.
wrong in the marriage.
That's recorded. We have that. We have that recorded. All of you, make copies.
If I listen to him, then he's right. You know that's how it works.
I'm bad at the human stuff. Like, the stuff that you should know.
Like
and
taxes.
Well, yeah, but you're right on that stuff. You're like, no,
Great.
it's not like this. I'm just
So
not.
interesting.
I'm not good at the human stuff.
Great.
If you want to kind of probe the void of, like, space and
You know,
time,
Dark Palladians and
yeah,
Arcturians and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. And
Alright.
you want to sort of like push the very expanses
Let's
of
talk about tarot.
yeah.
Let's talk about who? Do you want to talk about taxes? April 15th is coming up. But they extended, I think, to May 22nd, just so you guys know. Let's talk about...
I'm British. Paying the taxes is new to me.
Ooh,
Well, that's not that I've evaded taxes, for the record. Just kidding.
now they're after you. What have you done?
They'll
What
never
was
get
that?
me.
What was that one line from that one film?
Oh, you've narrowed it down now. Just made his thoughts. Oh, yes, I know.
That one line. Well, I thought you'd read my mind.
Oh, very good. Very troll.
And he loses his daughter, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Neeson.
Taken.
Taken.
I have a particular set of skill.
Yeah, that one.
It's like what? Taxes.
And taxes.
I don't know who you are, but I will find you.
And I will.
And I will do your taxes.
Oh my god. I need another beer. You're slow.
I am slow, but last time you were slow because we were drinking that dreadful bloody stout.
It wasn't that bad.
It was
As
horrible.
far as stouts go, it wasn't that bad.
You know, I've noticed, and I
What
didn't
was
say
that
this.
one? That one stout we liked. Old Rasputin. That one was
Old
good.
Rasputin was good. It's,
I don't think that's a stout though.
there's it's a porter.
Is it?
Yeah. There's one thing I've noticed that ever since like the whole microbrew trend of beer,
Right.
when it comes to stouts, if you have stout and you try stout, like you all right there? You had a bit of seepage, bit of a dribble. You good? Okay. Oh.
It's made its way. It'll come out my shorts next.
Anyway, that's enough about your incontinence. Now,
I have to stop you there. Then you can finish your thought.
Okay.
Do you remember after we had Willow?
Mm.
You went to the store.
Don't.
I was like, I need more pads. Because after you have a baby, you bleed for a while. And I was like, I need more pads. And he goes to the store and he buys me like... he brought me woman's pee pads, like, for gravy.
Yeah, I did. We still got them, I think.
We need to donate them or something. Because I was like, this is not... I don't need pee pads.
I thought that they were the same thing.
So, maybe I do have incontinence.
There's so many of them. They've all got different things, but they don't just say. There's no big letters that say, this is for when you've had a baby and you've got a normal-sized vagina. You know, they don't. They just got different colours with, like, one's got, like, 2 teardrops and the other one's got 3 butterflies. And you're like, I don't bloody know. Just tell me the size of your vagina.
They
so
don't
I can...
go by vagina size.
Don't they?
No.
What do
They go by absorbency.
All right, tell me the amount of flow.
Yeah, that's what the dots are. 3 flows is a lot.
Oh.
2 flows is less. 1 flow is nothing.
Really?
Yeah, so you have a bigger pad with more absorbency.
You know, you can't fault me for trying. Like, I'm always there I'll go and try.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it my best shot.
I will. Well, there's our copyright infringement.
Shoot, you're right. Dang it. Hopefully Rocky doesn't hear this.
Sorry, I'll throw a curveball. It's the final showdown.
Ooh, it's the final penny liner. Incontinence. That'll be my wrestle name. Like
what?
Once I become. Oh no! What is the Mexican wrestlers called?
Luchador.
Luchador?
Luchador.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know if that's right.
I think it is. It's luchador.
Well, that's
like Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a luchador.
Incontinence. That'll be my luchador name.
I'd hate to see your
granny panties on.
I'd hate to see her finishing move.
I'm gonna pee myself.
Case in point.
I'm wheezing. Oh no. Oh, where did we go?
I don't know.
Sometimes we really get off track in life.
You do get
all the time.
If you've seen any of our lives, you know that we go off track a lot.
Oh, it's very often.
It's nice to go off track. I think it's fun.
I don't know. What were we talking? We were talking about spirit.
Stouts. We weren't even talking about spirit. We were talking about stouts.
No, we were.
We were originally, and then we went on to stouts for some reason.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Unless you had something to add to that.
No, I mean, it's what spirit means to you.
Okay,
It's a very
Okay, sorry.
You all right?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
It's a very personal thing in a sense, and the many different aspects of spiritual identity are varied.
Yeah.
You can spend your whole life trying to figure out what, who you are as spirit. Not what you do or how you dress or any of those things, but who you actually are.
Right.
It's tough. You can waste your life on it. To be completely honest, it can drive you mad.
Is that the whole... how on occasion you've mentioned when you have a spiritual awakening and I forgot you used a term for it, but when people spiritually awaken and they see too much or something, they can feel bad if their eyes are opened all at once to everything.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a turn of phrase for that?
Going mad.
Thanks. I don't think that was it. But...
the ancient Druids. Okay. Ancient Druids they would take on apprentices, and it would take 10 years, between 10 and 14 years sometimes, to train a Druid.
Right.
I'm not talking about the new Druid revival, I'm talking about the proper Druids. One of the side effects that often happened was madness. They would be subject to different chemicals and stuff like this, obviously, but they are trained to push their mind and to look as far as they can. It breaks the mind, and the same with spiritual awakening. You lose your sense of self,
Right.
because you realise that who you are in this life is temporary. Not just temporary as in the sense that, oh, I'm going to die and then I'm going to go somewhere. No. Temporary is in, I'm going to die and then I'm going to go somewhere, and then that part of me is going to die until only my essence, my true spirit remains. A part of you is still there,
Right.
but it's just going to join all the other lives that you have lived, all the other things, until it joins all the other lives of everyone else. Until eventually it gets to the source.
Do you think things have already reached the source again?
Some. This is one of the things about Gandhi.
He definitely made it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You can't always tell.
Yeah.
There are certain things, actually. That's a good point. This is my personal thing through conversation with a spirit. Okay? So...
A spirit you spoke with.
Yeah.
Who was the spirit?
What does that matter?
I just am curious.
Well, okay. Well, it was a man, and it was shortly after my second experience with a deity, who is my patron deity.
Who is who?
Klononos, the Antlered one. Okay. Now, this guy comes up, and he's pretty tall. For a certain, first thing I notice, he's like strangely tall. He's like 7 foot something. But as he walks towards me, he gets smaller instead of bigger.
Right.
Anyways, I'm having this conversation, and it goes along the lines of basically you have what people call the ascended masters, such as Buddha and such. But then you have these other people who chose not to ascend as such. These are what they call the Earth Deities. They are the oldest souls who, instead of progressing and rejoining the light, they stay behind to guide others. These are known as gods. They are forms of universal guides who take many forms throughout many different countries, even many different realms of existence.
Whoa.
What?
So if you're saying that a god is essentially a guide that's lived many lifetimes and been many other gods.
Oh no, not many lifetimes. Like literally some
Eons.
of the first of the souls, if you like.
Gosh. That sounds exhausting.
Some of the first.
That sounds exhausting.
No, there are privileges to it. It's not the same as coming
What's
back and
the
living a
privilege?
life again.
You get Butterfingers every day?
Why would you want Butterfingers?
I would want Butterfingers every day.
What, of eternity? You'd get sick of them. You'd need a selection.
You doubt me, because I wouldn't.
Fair enough. I don't know.
Very
Give me
well.
biscuits. Actually, this is something completely unscripted. Well, like most of this, to be honest with you.
We're just here. I mean,
But what if someone like offered up something or used something to summon you or call you forth as a spirit? What would it be?
we did this on Instagram.
I know, but I
3 things.
I never asked you,
Yeah.
and I know what I would think to.
Okay,
but
well,
I
tell
want to
me
know
yours.
what you would.
No, tell me yours.
What?
Your 3 things
Well, the
that they
first
would
thing
use.
is what-
Okay, hold on.
What?
The 3 things they would use to summon you if it was a spell, correct?
Yeah,
It's a
in
summoning spell. What
in-
3 things would they need to
Yeah.
complete the summoning spell? Okay.
Okay. So, the first thing I thought of was Butterfingers,
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I love the Butterfinger.
margaritas.
Oh, I love margaritas.
You do like a margarita.
Yes.
And the last one is difficult because it's basically just sunshine.
I do love sunshine.
Yeah. Or, if not sunshine, lip balm.
Lip balm is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are good. Those are good.
What about me?
Oh, the 3 things for you? I would say a forest, an older forest.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah, I'd have to cultivate a whole fucking forest to summon you.
Just condense it into
It
one
takes 60
small,
years.
easy to take pill. No. Okay.
Okay, let me think of something smaller now because you've made me feel stupid.
A snow globe? No.
Don't.
Don't.
Sorry, the cat is by the
Roof-
wires.
Wait.
I swear to God, I will drop kick you to Texas.
Rufus Chumley Warner III. Come here.
Look at him. I'm going to bite this.
No, he likes biting wires, and as you can imagine,
We have
for
a
people
lot
who
of
have a lot of
wires.
wires due to like our job,
I don't know, a podcast?
yeah, that as well.
I'm going to take a picture of him.
Do it.
And I'm going to post on Instagram. So when we post this video, you can come back and see the picture
He
that we posted.
he hasn't been well.
He's not?
No, he's been having trouble with boogers.
He is allergic to us.
He's allergic to humans, and yeah, and although that's the thing, he loves attention. Like he gets all up in your business, and he just wants kisses and cuddles. But then he starts sneezing all over you, and it's horrible.
He wants the lovin's, but he can't get it. So, okay. So, things I would...
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Well, you put me on the spot now. I can think of some really good ones, I feel like.
Tobacco. Hey, if I was a spirit, I wouldn't care about smoke or vape. I'd smoke.
That's a good picture, isn't it?
Oh, that is a good picture. Is that him looking at my vape?
Mm-hmm. He's biting the cords.
Oi! Stop it. Little arsehole.
Here, wait. Psst, psst, psst.
Oh, he loves a hairband. Yeah, go get it.
Go get it.
Good
Fetch. There you go. I sacrificed my hairband on my wrist for the cause.
Nice.
Let's get back. Nobody wants to hear any of this.
No.
Maybe we should just cut off the last.
Maybe
10
they
minutes.
do. I don't know.
You
Like,
guys wanna
maybe
hear
it's
about our
comforting.
cat? Mom and Dad are talking about the cat again.
If any of you have been on the lives, you know the cat. He's a character in his own right.
Yeah.
He's an arsehole, but we love him.
Yes. Okay, so in lieu of trees.
In lieu of trees, what about a pine cone?
No.
Or a mushroom.
Pine cone.
Or a
Mushroom.
mushroom.
Something
A
from the
wild
forest. Something forged from the forest that was ready to be taken.
Ooh,
How
a
about
nice
that?
honeysuckle twisted piece of wood.
That gives me some wiggle room.
Okay. A dead body.
A dead body. A beard brush.
A beard brush. Where's my beard brush?
And a cup of tea.
Okay, what kind of tea?
Tetley's.
Fair enough. Could be Yorkshire, but
It could be
okay.
Yorkshire, but I'm going
You'll
to
only get
Tetley's
half
later.
a spectre.
And a bath.
A bath.
He loves bath
I
bombs
do like
too.
a bath. No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Why are you lying?
I do not like bath. I've only ever had one. No, I mentioned bath bombs to you simply because of one thing.
Okay. He likes bath salts.
I like bath salts.
It's
yeah.
very manly to have a bath salt.
No,
not
no,
a bath
no.
bomb.
Don't get me wrong.
You wear sparkly hats, bro.
I said I like bath bombs once to you because simply I put it under my legs and the fizziness does things, and I was like, oh, blimey.
They don't want to know that.
Yeah.
They don't. We're gonna cut
Yeah.
this bit out.
Well, then you shouldn't have asked. And
Oh
I just
my
happened to
God.
say, like, well, that was an interesting experience. But I'll have you know that my feminine and masculine side are both in perfect balance, which should be in order to be a witch or any
They are.
practitioner.
I actually love that about you.
Oh, thank you.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things about you. You're not scared to just wear whatever you want to wear or do whatever you want to do. Even it's like in America, I feel like people are very like, let's be macho, man. We're macho.
It's a lot of trucks.
We eat burgers, we drive pickup trucks, we drink beer because we're macho men. And you're like, I fucking love a margarita.
I do. Or a gin and tonic, but it has to be
Oh, bless.
Sorry. But it has to be pink gin. It's just
see?
a little bit of strawberry in there. It's lovely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I
There's
love it.
Nothing wrong with Nothing wrong with embracing your divine femininity.
Oh, no. Honestly, like, if you look at most pagan cultures from the past, they worshipped the feminine aspect. Women create life.
Yeah.
Women have the ability to separate two things in order to maintain balance and do what is right for everyone. Men work masculinely on impulse. Not that it's wrong, it has its place, of course. There are both two sides, counters. But, yeah, it's important to know, and it's important to understand that, I feel.
I agree.
Anyway.
So what practical... Actually, let me go back.
Okay.
How has your spirituality evolved and changed?
Oh my goodness, big time.
Let's keep this short, though, because now it's been a...
Well, we can cut and edit the bits about the vaginas.
Who wants... Definitely leaving that part in now.
Nice. I hope you don't mind me vaping on here, but...
I do.
Yeah, I thought you would, but there's no way I'm going to go an hour without vaping. You already made me give up my pipes.
Okay, can we move? Let's.
Moving on. No, okay. So,
spirituality.
Everyone's spirituality changes, and it does not matter what your faith is, what your spiritual
What was
path
the
is.
catalyst? What was the catalyst? Because you've always, and you've told everyone that's followed you, you've always been in a spiritual life. You've lived half in this world, half in another world.
Yeah, I was raised by witches, basically, for a lot of my young life.
Right.
And yes, finding the balance of living one foot in this world and one foot in the other. This is why you call a hedge witch. The hedge is an ancient boundary, and it is the word for the boundary between worlds. And a hedge witch crosses over. And it's hard. It can be difficult. You can lose yourself. Sometimes you don't feel entirely human because you spend a lot of your time as spirit.
Right.
And because you spend a lot of your time as spirit or even traversing the spirit realms, the planes, you can get disconnected from the more earthly material things that are necessary. You know. However, being raised by witches, wonderful witches, and I think I mentioned before to you that when I was a boy, it was still at a time where, although still now, just recently then made legal, forms of spirituality, healing, clairvoyance and such, were illegal only a few years beforehand.
Right.
And so there was business, but business by word of mouth. People would come to the house. They would come and sit down, and I would make them a cup of tea. Being a young child, I couldn't use the kettle, so I'd make them a cup of tea with the hot water tap, and I would watch them drink it. And they'd be like, it's lovely. I was like, you have to drink it all. But I would also practice by giving people readings.
Right.
If they allowed me to. If they are, some people would be like, oh, no, thank you, but thank you. But some people were like, oh, yeah, I'd love a reading. And I would practice, and I was only 6 years old or something like that. But I'd give readings.
So how's it different now than it was then? What's the main
difference? This is the thing. I suddenly may have, for many people, just appeared out of nowhere online, because I was raised to believe that we must work within the realms of the shadow. The true followers of the practice, such rules do not apply. We are dwindling, people like myself in that case, not general witches. And in order for us to survive, in order for us to thrive and pass on such things, we need to adapt.
Right.
And with your help, especially because I'm such an old fart when it comes to technology, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
And it's still difficult. Yeah, I must admit, it's still difficult
To put
talking
yourself out
about
there all the
things
time.
like this because I was raised even as a child. You don't talk about this. You don't tell people. You don't tell your best friends about these things. They won't understand. And I have to break that pattern. And every day I am breaking the pattern in a sense. When every time I make a TikTok or about
YouTube
something.
video.
Sometimes I go too far and people don't get what I'm saying because
you haven't tailored it.
Yeah, I haven't tailored it to. I try and get it to where people can.
But not to plug ourselves, but also to plug ourselves.
Well, it's our podcast. We plug ourselves as much as you like.
Plug my motherfucking self
Plug
as
it.
I want. No. You started a Patreon. Because that was the best way we could figure out. Because a lot of people have asked, could you be my mentor? Could you guru?
Yeah.
And they're like, how do we do this?
As I said.
Oh my freaking goodness.
I dropped the mic.
You legitimately dropped it.
Just cut this bit out. It's because it's top heavy.
How did you hit it?
It's fine, see.
Babe, how did you even hit it? What
I
did
just
you
brushed
do?
it like that and it.
Can you just leave it alone?
We're back. Just cut that bit out. What's your problem? You're so angry all the time about the silliest accidents. Right.
So, we're plugging the podcast. We're plugging the Patreon.
Yeah.
So, that's why we started the Patreon.
No, you might want to just go back a bit more.
I don't know where we were before
About
that.
people asking to be taught stuff.
So, people have been asking you to be taught. People are wondering what the best way is to get knowledge from you.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing. My way doesn't necessarily mean it's your way. I went kind of backwards and then forwards and then sideways. I adopted many different kinds of techniques because I have this overwhelming need to push the boundaries of my own understanding. Where did it lead me? It almost led me to insanity. I had an apprentice. I had a student once, only once, and it pushed them over, pushed them to the point. This is the thing, is that there are trials that you must put yourself through. It took me over a decade of solitude. Genuinely, really, when you think about it, you know my life. It was solitude, and
For the most part, yeah.
for the most part. And because of this, it left a lot of time to sort of think and expand my own spiritual progress. But it's difficult. Just like if you are going through a spiritual awakening right now, then you know that it's not easy.
No.
But the rewards are so much. It depends what you do with it.
It depends how evolved you are too, because I mean, I'll be honest, I'm basic. I'm new to all
You're
this.
not basic, my love.
Okay, well, thank you. But I am. I'm new to all this. This is new for me. This isn't something he discussed with me right away, because I'm sure you felt that I wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this came to me, and I felt overwhelmed by it. Spiritual awakening isn't fun. Spiritual awakening sucks.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of friends. You lose a lot of family members. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, I have so much of a better understanding of myself. I have so much of a better understanding of the world and how I can operate it and how I can manifest shit for myself. And then all of a sudden, it's like, nobody fucking knows. They're just going to KFC. What are we doing? Like, it's like that's
You feel alone.
You feel alone.
But you know what you do? You find your kin. You find your
You
tribe.
do. Come here and find us. We're here.
We're here.
We're your mom and dad.
Honestly, that's why she's called Mummerade.
That's why
And
I'm
I'm
called Mom
Faja.
Raider. I will love you no matter what.
That's the point.
Yeah.
You're not alone, and especially when you have this spiritual awakening,
Yeah.
you're not alone because spirit are always there, and that was the one thing that was always taught to me.
Yeah.
That the most rewarding thing about spirit and being aware of spirit and working with spirits such as guides, you are never alone.
No.
And it is true. You are never alone. You have heard me having very big conversations
Yeah.
with
Absolutely.
spirit people
With
before.
spirit
Like, whenever there's a problem, there are people there
to answer it.
who answer me, and they talk to me, and they talk.
And even if you're in, if you're in a basic sense, that's for the higher and more advanced people. You can talk to spirit, you can understand them, you've gotten that connection bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Even for basic people who are just starting out and like a year or two into this,
Yeah.
you can still hear them if you ask.
Yeah.
If you ask to hear them, it's not going to be like they're going to call you up on the phone. But,
No.
if you are looking for symbols, if you're looking for signs, you will see the signs.
Definitely.
And that's that.
It's the thing. The thing is, it's the same when I say about the higher self. Your higher self exists completely separate as a separate consciousness most of the time.
Right.
It is the accumulation of all the lives that you have lived before that you are not privy to, because if you knew all those things, you'd avoid all the challenges and all the pains that you would have to go through in this life. Mm-hmm. So, your higher self, in very much a way, sits back and watches you and roots for you. Because at some point you will join the rest of that energy, that spirit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, because you threw me right off by
Saying absolutely?
Yeah. What was I saying? I was on a train of thought. The beer has hit. Oh. Now, but the thing is your higher self only ever deals in truth. Only ever. You may not want, you almost definitely do not want to hear the truth. Because when you are blocked, when you are cut off from your higher self, when you are born, for instance, you are your higher self.
Yep.
You are as close as you can be on this plane to your higher self. You see spirit. You talk to spirit. You follow your intuition. You understand that there is more. You see the magic in the world around you, even though there is pain within it. As you get older, you disconnect. You stop listening to the truths your higher self has to say because they may be painful, because you may be scared. So therefore, if you listen to your higher self, accept what your higher self is telling you, then, and only then, will you become closer to spirit in general. If you can't listen to your higher self, how the hell are you going to listen to what your guides are trying to tell you?
That reminds me of a quote by RuPaul.
Yes.
If you can't love yourself, how the hell you going to love someone else?
That's a very true thing as well. And
RuPaul,
also,
thank you.
This world, this modern world that we live in right now, this is one of those things that implement it. Many of us have trauma. It is almost expected now.
I mean,
like,
there's so... Have you... Okay, if anybody's read The Body Keeps the Score, I'm still
that's great.
Trudging through it. It's very difficult. But it's a difficult read mostly because the statistics in it are disgusting.
Yeah.
And one of the statistics, and I'll have to pull it back up, but the amount of people that experience child sexual abuse is astounding. And the reason we didn't know that is because people haven't come forward about it. There hasn't been an opportunity for them to be open enough to come forward about it. So every year, the statistic is higher and higher and higher. And it's not because it's happening more often. It's because people are open enough to answer correctly.
Yeah.
How horrifying is that?
It's the way that the human mind responds to trauma.
Yeah.
When something happens, we just don't want to look at it. You put it off. But the problem is when you don't look at something, it eventually gains sort of momentum within, and it starts to affect your life.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. There's a point where you get angry and you're like, I deserve more than this. And this is affecting my life.
Right.
And I need to let it go. And this is usually when spirits step in as well.
That's spirit coming in.
That's them.
That's the exact sound they'll make.
They do. They like that. And they do the Superman pose. They really don't they?
They don't do that.
Honestly, they just kind of go, they're there. And they're there. And then they're gone. And you're like, oh, bye.
It's cute because a lot, your spirit guide, I think a lot of people don't know this either. This would be good TikTok for you. But spirit guide develops as you develop. So your little baby spirit guide's out there being just a little baby 6-year-old while you're out there being a dumb dummy.
Not always. I suppose it's a new soul is in the sense of new soul.
Yeah.
There are much more people on this planet, and because there are many, many more people on this planet, there are many more new souls. Mm-hmm. People will say, oh, there's no such thing as a new soul. No, there is. The more the universe expands, the more it creates, and the more it creates, the more souls. Not just on this planet, in others, in the infinite of space. Now, these are the ones that are lost. These are the ones who are easily distracted, usually. But it does not mean that they are any less, or they are worth any less. If anything, they have an advantage. I think, personally.
No.
So now they are like children, so they need.
I feel like you're like specifically targeting me, and I don't appreciate it.
Not at all. Go on.
Okay, so on Instagram, at the Antlered Crown, before we do a podcast on Fridays, I'm going to post a question for the podcast. And so this week I asked, what questions you have about connecting with spirit. And so one of the questions is, by the pony, are spirits of the deceased just waiting for their next life, or do they become guides?
Some become guides. There are jobs. Not the jobs that are kind of monotonous things that you feel like you're obligated to do. Mm-hmm. It's not like that. There are builders, those who are the number 22 builders. They just are creative. They make things out of thought, inspiration and imagination. But there are also those who travel the lower planes and try to help those who are stuck there. Try to convince them that they need to go back. They need to relearn something. They need to get it right. And there are lots of other things. But no, you live a life. You live a whole, complete life. Mm. You are never forced to go back. When you are ready, you choose to go back.
Right.
And I know many of us are like, that'll never happen, but it will.
Yeah. Another viewer question from SX Spin XX SX Pin Artemis. Oh my goodness gracious! There's a couple, but I wanted to do. Will they speak in another language or just English?
No, it's not English and it's not another language either. It's the intent. It's telekinetic. Basically, what you may perceive as English is not necessarily English either. They just talk with intent. Right. Intent, regardless of the word, since language changes always, but there is always the meaning. Right. That doesn't change.
And what if you give them something they don't like? If you're for example, creating an altar, you're honoring your deities, and you're giving them food or drink or something.
Deities is something different. You should always do your research beforehand when it comes to deities. Some spirits, some familiars, or that you hope are will be familiars for you, they don't like certain things. Meat,
right?
Salt. Do you say rice?
I said right.
Right.
Got it.
Some might not like rice. Slow down.
I'm sorry.
She's worried her phone's going to die and she wants to ask questions.
How do you know when they want to connect with them? Same person. SX. Pin Artemis.
You'll know. I covered on my TikTok about buzzing in the ear. This is usually, especially if the buzzing becomes louder and louder. But there are signs. It is up to your intuition. Through practicing your intuition and developing your intuition, you know. What's wrong with you? I'm sorry, my drink got in the way.
I literally just barely tapped my drink on the mic. Calm down. I didn't drop my whole mic earlier.
I didn't do that because it edited it out. There's no proof.
There's no proof.
You have no proof, Inspector. No, your intuition, it becomes, you must rely and have faith in it.
Yeah.
And this can only happen through developing it. Practice. Your intuition is how you feel. It is your instinct, your psychic instinct in a way.
Does spirit always come through? Can they just straight up ignore you? That's from Tales of A Squared.
Yes, most certainly. If it affects the prime directive in which your soul path or your soul contract may be diverted and it may run counter to your own progression, then most certainly they will choose not to answer at all, because even a yes or no can sway the outcome of something that you are on a linear path towards. Sometimes they just want to be dicks about it and not talk to you because you've had a go at them beforehand. I'm talking about my guide there.
Benji. Does Benji like me?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he likes you. He thinks you're funny.
I am funny, Benji. So, we talked about spirit.
Yeah.
We talked about Three Floyds, McKellar, War Pigs, Foggy Geyser. Yeah, it's a hazy India Pale Ale, an IPA, which is a super fruity and dank War Pigs hazy IPA forged in collaboration.
I suppose it is dank in that sense.
Who would have thought Indiana would have gotten together with
that place? You've forgotten where it is.
I totes forgot. Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
You're Copenhagen.
Ye old Copenhagen.
Do you know ye must mean the...
Oh, did it? Yeah. Coming from England, I wouldn't know that. Since every single bloody shop is ye.
I watched a history show about that.
There she goes, flexing her Discovery Plus.
Okay, so we talked about spirit. We talked about what it meant to us. We talked about...
The camera's wobbling, so if anyone who's watching the actual camera is the cat jumped on
jumping around. Are you going to make an appearance?
Come on.
Come here. Make an appearance.
Rufus, come here.
I'll keep talking while you try to get him over. So today we're going to have a patron shout out. Our baby one and only patron.
Don't tell people we have just the one. It's early days. This is the first one.
Maybe they'll feel bad for us.
Pity patrons.
I'd like the guilty patrons.
Pity patrons.
So if you guys want to join our Patreon, we'll have the link in the show notes. There's basically 3 tiers. The first tier is just for people to join our Discord server. You'll have access to us. We check in there a few times a day. We'll try and answer questions or talk in there and chat. And it's fun.
It's a right good crack.
We have a really good crowd in there right now. So that's our first tier. Our second tier is a sticker Discord, and you get to join the group meetings monthly, which we do. And those are really fun over Zoom. And then the third tier is one-on-one. It's for people who want one-on-one consultations with Elwyn. And it's a link, and you'll get to schedule your consultation with him once a month. And it's just for ongoing guidance, plus all the other bits. And a t-shirt or whatever you want from the shop.
And you kind of get to design it.
Yeah, you get to design it. It's merch that you want.
You get to put the logo on and stuff, but you get to where it goes and what it,
what color,
and all that stuff.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So if you want to, come join us on Patreon, come join us on Discord. You can find us also on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram at The Antlered Crown, or on YouTube as Elwyn the Witch.
I offer a variety of psychic readings, including bone, tarot, and clairvoyance, as well as spiritual consultations, which are done live and scheduled via Zoom.
And you want to talk about next week?
Yeah, next week we'll be discussing much more in depth, hopefully, guides, the hows, the whos, the whats, as well as common misconceptions that are confused about guides, because there are many, believe me.
Yeah, there are definitely many. And I wanted to mention before we go, we've referenced a few times that we're showing things because we're recording this podcast also, and we will be uploading it to YouTube. So if you're interested in the Patreon, sign up. That's one of the perks. You can get the YouTube version. Watch us make complete assholes of ourselves on camera.
Yeah, we might as well film it. We do it anyway.
So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And always remember,
tip your witch bitch.
Bye-bye.
Bye.